Plus, it was gas in, I think, the tractor that made it more fire. That's what I think.
Hey guys, so I just want to show you what all happened, how our shed got on fire before I, went to build my shed.
Hey, call the fire department, Brian. not enough guys, man.
Alright guys, it was not easy for me to make this video because we were kind of emotionally attached with the entire process. Here you can see my riding lawnmower and things like that. But I wanted to put this video together before I show you the entire process on how I built my shed. But yeah, my backyard was looking like a graveyard, and a lot of mess. It looks like a black all over, and it was just disaster. I mean, you can see I had a just 3-year old riding lawnmower that just looks like a piece of junk. I mean, it was just absolutely crazy. But yeah, the first thing I started doing is a complete cleanup. As you can see, some of the pictures took me good little over a week or 2 weeks. Then I started working on my fence. I do want to make it clear, guys, this is not really a step-by-step process video. I'm basically showing you kind of like overview of the process. I guess this can show you, how things can be done, some ideas. And also I do not have a truck, so a lot of stuff I ended up buying on my Mazda 3. I have a roof rack using my car to, buy the vinyl siding, to buy these used fence. I basically put it like literally 6 panel that looks exactly like this on the top of my car, and I brought home. I was using my Mazda a lot, hauling stuff here and there. So yes, this is kind of also letting you guys know, if you do not own a truck, you don't have to have a truck when you're building something in your house. So you can easily use a small sedan car or so, haul the stuff, and you can literally build yourself. I will be also explaining some useful tips that I learned when I was building the entire project, entire shed. So hopefully this will also help you if you are in process to do something similar. So here you can see the picture of my stuff was delivered from Lowe's in few days, and here I was getting ready to attack on my project. So tip number one will be always order extra material than you estimate, because trust me, I think I ordered like 60 or 70, or I think I ordered like 80 or so. But then I had to keep going back to the store and buy more and more. I mean, I always used, I think, 150 stud 2 by 4. I think it was 8-inch stud I ordered. So yeah, always order extras, especially if you're doing a home delivery, so you don't have to make separate trips to go back and forth and buy extra stud. And plus, if you buy in bulk, because you're buying over 100, you will also get discounted rate from Lowe's or Home Depot. So it's always a good idea to buy extras, because once you're done with your shed, you will be also maybe looking to make the loft inside. So here we comes to a second tip. I was doing a lot of research, before I did my shed. A lot of the videos, some old-fashioned trick they were sharing to use a 50% diesel, basically half and half. You use the half diesel and half used motor oil. Motor oil is your car old, used engine oil. Now, basically, what you want to do is, of course, I was buying a ground contact, 4 by 4 and things like that. The wood that will be basically inside the ground. I was already buying a ground contact wood, but I also basically, use this mixture, diesel and used motor oil, and I use like a, spray gun or, a brush. I use it with a brush, but after that I realized it's easier and quicker if I use like, a spray gun or something, or, paint sprayer or electric sprayer, I should say. I also use that to, basically make almost like two coating, because they literally soaked up, make a thick layer. You soak up in the mixture of half and half, those two things. Do maybe a two coat if you feel it can soak up even more. That way, basically, when you put your 4 by 4 in the ground, it basically expand the lifespan so much. I personally also ended up buying electric auger. Now this is optional for you guys. I did it because one, I wanted to make my life easier, because if I'm doing the project myself, I'm already saving a lot of money, right? By not going through a contractor or not buying a pre-built shed. So I wanted to spend some money extra on tools. It also does some sort of like a quality of work. So electric auger, I spent back then like $150 or so on eBay. Now that also make your life easy when it comes to digging the deep hole. I was able to make like good 3.5 foot, or maybe four. I think it was three something, or at least 2 3 foot deep hole in the ground. So I was able to put my post, 4 by 4 in the ground, like very deep down easily, than making the hole by hand. I do want to mention, the most time it took me was basically doing a grounding to the base level. When I had the foundation going, I think foundation took me at least 2 weeks, because I was just so lost. I was not sure what I'm doing. And once I was done with the foundation, after so much going back and forth, shed was going really fast. I think within like little over 1 week, my entire shed was done. But I spent, I think, good 2 weeks just on the foundation. Well, the problem was I have a slope backyard. So when you're standing, you're not even standing straight technically. So when you're building something, you're really doing completely wrong. These, like you can see, the boards were not lining up correctly. And you also have to like measure from corner to corner. Nothing was lining up right. So I ended up buying a laser leveler. Here is the next step. So if you're doing something like this and you are not on the straight level ground, I would highly recommend laser leveler, because even though you're not standing straight, you would never figure out how exactly straight it needs to be. But yeah, like I said, this was the hardest one in the entire project. It took me a long time, going back and forth. But at the end, I was able to kind of figure out the exact dimensions and exactly where the post has to be. But yeah, in the next picture, you can clearly see how it was coming into life. And then I start putting, these 2 by 6 straight. Now this is a good one, because here you can see in the middle how I made this T looking thing like extra support. This basically give an extra strength in the middle as well, along with like 7 legs. So there are 3 legs on the top and 3 at the bottom and 1 in the middle. That makes it 7 legs. Now I did not see any video on YouTube where people are using 7 legs. I just wanted to make it super strong. I should have mentioned this shed is a 10 by 12, which is bigger than I had before. And I also ended up adding some extra pieces in the middle, making it more like a platform bed. Like it makes it more sturdy, more strong if you do it that way. But yeah, things was getting easier after I was done with this portion. Here you can see I kind of painted the edges, because this will be hard later. Then all I was doing is, after that, I was basically putting this subfloor and start putting the nails with my nail gun to make my life easier. I put the tarp. You don't have to. It was raining one of the days, so I decided to put a tarp on the top. And here is how the complete flooring was looking. It was very sturdy and very solid. And right after that, I started working on trusses. That was more like a tricky. It's all about math and degree and the angle. Now here's a tip. I did not knew the time I was building the shed, but I found it later. They actually do sell online. It's called Tusses kit or something. They are pre-made, pre-cut. They're basically these galvanized plate you can see. All you have to do is you have to put the wood together after you cut in the right angle, and you literally just just put the nails in there. It does it all the work yourself. That way you make sure that all the tusses are in exact degree and exact shape, and that way your roof will be coming complete straight. I do have a minor mistakes here and there, but later when you do the roofing, you can kind of see it's a little bulky in one side and lower on the other side. It's not like that big deal, but it kind of does not look complete a finished product. If you're building the shed from a scratch, I would highly recommend spend little extra, unless you are pretty confident you can do it yourself better than that. But yeah, after that, like you can see, things was going pretty fast and smooth. All I was doing is literally using my nail gun and just putting 2 by 4 and just poking the nails around. I also ended up using like 4 boxes of nail. I believe the one box has like 1,000 nail or so. I only bought like one in the beginning, but then I had to buy more and more. I did not realize I ended up buying like 4 boxes. So it's also another tip, I guess. If you can buy box of nails in the beginning in bulk. I know the Harbor Freight has one of the box. I believe they charge like 50 or 60 bucks, and you get like I think 5,000 nails or so. I wish I would have bought it the bigger box in the beginning to save some money on the nails, so you don't have to keep going back to the Home Depot or Lowe's for nails and spend extra when you don't know how many nails to use. But yeah, here you can see how the nice shed was coming along, coming to the life as I was keep putting the 2 by 4s up and up. All right, so this time I also wanted to, have a power line from my house to the shed. Like last time when my shed had a fire, I had a solar panel and battery and things like that, which is why I had like a short circuit or some sort somehow like a battery was exploded. But this time I wanted to play safe, so I installed a 15 amp circuit breaker in my main power panel, like you can see here, and I put the wire underground. Here you can see from my house all the way to the shed, while installing your extra safety breaker box and things like that. And another cool thing, or I guess it's also a tip, because again I had a fire last time in my shed. This time I wanted to install a smoke detector. Now, one thing most of you, or even me, I did not knew about it before, but I'm sure most of you guys do not know. There are some smart smoke detector, not the Nest one, but the regular Kiddle one or something, or Kiddy brand. Now, in my house, I have like a like a centralized smoke detector. So, which means if one of them beeps, all will be beeping, right? Now, what you have to do is you have to buy just one smart smoke detector, which will be talking to your existing system. You don't have to replace all of them, just replace one to the smart one. Now, anyone in your house will be beeping, which means all will be beeping. If the one smart one will be beeping, it will send you a text message on your phone and email, and it will also send you a notification on your phone. So this time I wanted to avoid what happened in the beginning you saw in the video. So I ended up buying this smart Kiddle smoke detector from Amazon. I so for this one you also had to have like a physical wire that talks to your system. Now my smoke detector will be in the shed. So what I did when I was putting the wire in the ground, I put, of course, the wire like normal power line along with one single wire for the signal wire. If you guys know, in smoke detector there are three wires, right? One is the neutral, one is the hot wire, and one is a signal wire. So I was putting the main power line and one a signal wire, just one line from my shed to the house, and inside the house I went in the attic. I basically fished the line in the attic and connected to my bedroom smoke detector, and it basically worked out amazing. Now if I press a button in my shed in the smoke detector, my entire house will be beeping. Plus I get the alerts in my phone and vice versa. So it works out amazing. It's additional, another layer of security. Plus of course I have a 15 amp breaker. If there's any short circuit or things like that, it will trigger and power will go off. On the top of that, I also installed, the cameras in there now, so I can monitor things. I even have a little 32-inch TV. I made like a loft up there. Me and my daughter can literally lay up there and watch TV. It's amazing in there. It's so much big and roomy. I put all my Christmas tree and storage on the upper area in like a loft area. Down there I have a motorcycle and my, riding lawnmower and all sort of different tools. It's holding so much space, and I'm very happy that in the beginning, like you saw, I put almost 7 leg support in the middle because it's so much heavier. I can feel right now, but it's holding very well. It's over 1 year and that thing is like a beast. I'm super happy and super impressed with the shed. It just working amazing. There is no water leak. Everything just worked out amazing. So anyway guys, I do wanted to thank you for watching my video. I would appreciate if you can subscribe my channel, to like and support my channel, so I can come up with newer ideas to share some new knowledge with you guys. I would also recommend, I would also say if you have any question about this entire project, because I know I did so much work, so much research on this project, I put so much information. I may not be, I may not include all the information in there, including the tips. But if you have any question, feel free to leave me a comment down there. I will be happy to answer. And I hope to give you, any tip I had that may be useful when you are building your own shed. But anyway, best of luck with your shed. Let me know if you have any question. But trust me, just trust yourself and do it. You can build it far better shed compared to buying from somewhere else. And I should have mentioned, because before we bought this shed we also were going to Lowe's and things like that. We were taking pictures of quality, what they're building. Their quality is not even close to what I built. Because if you're building yourself, you can spend little extra money on better material. You can put extra stud, extra trusses. You can make it far better unit. Plus, there is no electricity. The one they come with, in my one, I can also put the electrical wires and things like that. If you're not comfortable, I would recommend taking a help from someone. But in my shed, I was able to do all the electrical work. And to give you a quick estimate, of course, I don't have the exact number, but it all came down to less than $2,000. Now, I remember if you buy similar shed in the Home Depot or Lowe's, they were charging about $7,000 or $8,000 plus tax. And there is tax for sure, because I did talk to them. I believe their one was costing me like 8 or 9 thousand after everything. Now you can do the math, 8 9 thousand dollar versus $2,000 in your house. Now the other best thing is if you do it yourself, if something happens in future, you know how to fix it because you have built yourself. Now second thing, I spent so much time and efforts doing the foundation. Now the one they sell you, in the store, they don't do about the foundation because you still have to do the foundation yourself. They basically just put the shed on the top of it. So there you go. So you still have to do all the basic work at the bottom on the floor level, which I think was so much useful if you do it yourself than basically going to a market. So I think my shed was so much cheaper compared to buying after market or so. But I'm so happy, it worked out so good. But anyway, thank you for watching my video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.